Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Fazia Ekotara with the student ID number ending in 100. Today, I will discuss about social protection programs and their effectiveness for vulnerable groups, particularly in terms of access to education. I choose this topic because education is the crucial foundation for improving the quality of human resources, and the quality these human resources ultimately determines the direction of a country's economy. Okay, next. To begin, let's look at the broader context. Social development and welfare essentially aim to improve the quality of life for community, from equal opportunities, reducing poverty, to meeting basic human needs. In development economics, social protection programs are not merely complementary. They are the foundation that enables inclusive economic development, meaning everyone can enjoy its benefit and ensure sustainability. Vulnerable groups such as poor families, people with disabilities, the elderly, female heads of household, and informal workers often face barriers to education. Therefore, social protection programs are designed to reduce their vulnerability and ensure that no one is left behind in the development process. Okay, next, problem formulation. Based on the background above, there are three major questions I want to address in this presentation. First, how effective are social protection programs in improving access to education for vulnerable groups? Second, what are the obstacles to implementation and factors that reduce the effectiveness of the program? And third, what policies need to be strengthened to increase the impact of the program? Okay, next. On the next slide, we see a graph of the percentage of Smart Indonesia program recipients from 2018 to 2024. From this graph, we can see that the number of recipients is quite high and tends to be stable each year. This show that the government is seeking to ensure access to educational assistance for many studies. However, this figure alone is not enough to assess the effectiveness of the program. What is more important is how its assistance is actually utilized to keep children in school and reduce dropout rates. Okay, next. If you look at their impact, social protection programs like PKH and PIP have made a significant contribution. These programs have successfully helped increase school enrollment rates, especially for low-income families. In many cases, this assistance is a factor in preventing children from dropping out of school, especially at the junior high school and high school levels. Furthermore, this program also supports the education of children with disabilities and somewhat elevate the economic burden on families associated with education costs. From this, we can see that social protection programs play a crucial role in providing access to education for those most in need. Next, despite its tangible benefits, several obstacles remain that prevent the program from being fully implemented. First, inaccurate recipients data means some poor children remain unreached while others might not be as in need. Second, geographical barrier and indirect costs such as transportation, distance to school, and condition in remote, underdeveloped, or treaty areas make the assistance feel inadequate. Third, a lack of information or literacy and information prevents some families from understanding to proper use of funds. Furthermore, the quality of education service in some areas remain low, and coordination between institutions is also suboptimal. These obstacles prevent this otherwise excellent program from always achieving its maximum impact. Next. Therefore, several important policies need to be strengthened. First, integrated data collection ensure that recipients are accurately targeted. Second, increasing the amount and quality of aid to ensure it is sufficient to cover the rising cost of education. Third, empowering recipient families such as providing mentoring or education on how to use the funds is crucial. Furthermore, developing educational infrastructure is essential, especially in remote areas, to ensure more equitable service quality. Finally, intersectoral coordination needs to be strengthened, and program evaluation must be conducted routinely and based on the next. In conclusion, social protection programs, including the PIP or Indonesian Child Protection Program, have proven to make a significant contribution to increasing access to education for vulnerable groups. This program helped many children stay in school and prevent dropouts. However, their effectiveness is still affected by various issues such as data collection, lack of mentoring, and uneven educational facilities. To further enhance their contribution to economic development, improvement are needed in data collection, coordination, family empowerment, and the quality of education service. Next, this is concludes my presentation. Thank you for your attention. I am available for discussion and question. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi